What do you need to write? A lot of people ask me this question. How do I get started? Where do I begin? Just help me get my thoughts down, Shayna. In today's episode of The Written Compass, I am going to pull back the curtain and get really clear, really direct, really real about what exactly you need to write. I'm so excited you're here. Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Written Compass. Super excited to be here today. And I am going to, of course, talk about the thing that I love. This is the week of Valentine's Day. If you celebrate it, when I'm recording this will come out just before Valentine's Day. And also want to make sure you know, if you're hitting this live when it comes out, we are doing some fun things over at Synergy Publishing Group. We've got lots of collaborative book opportunities. We're expanding this element of what we do and how we support authors in our collaborative books. And so I want to make sure you come to kind of an interest Q&A fun session we're doing happening February 13th. Head to shaynahartman.com/interest form, and that will give you all of the details that you need. Yes, there'll be a recording. Even if you catch this after it goes live, go ahead and fill out that form. We'll get the information and I'll be able to, my team and I will be able to check in with you and see if working with us through one of our collaborative books is something that would be beneficial to you. All right. So today, I know y'all know I love talking about writing, and I particularly love when people get going talking about their ideas for writing, what they're pondering. I get giddy when I hear them kind of go from their thoughts, like one thought to the next, and they're kind of verbally laying down a powerful word, one right after the other. And I'm sitting there and I'm supporting them, and I'm often taking notes. And this was happening with an amazing client the other day, one of our legacy authors. And she was just on fire. She was lit up. She was in the zone, as we say, and she just was getting idea after idea after idea coming through for her. And my job at that time was to just hold on tight, hold space for her, try to help capture some things that were coming through. It was just this really powerful process. And this is not the first time that I've experienced that. And it's so amazing when I'm in those moments. I'm just sitting there like, yes, this is writing. This is the power of being connected to yourself and your words and showing up and seeing how they want to come to fruition, right? But when a lot of people are like, what do you need to write? What's required? How do you write a book? Where do you start? That question is often underpinned by what happens next in this conversation when I'm talking with people about their ideas and they're lit up and they've just got word after word, powerful thought after thought coming, and then something shifts. And almost like clockwork, people will then begin to tell me all the things they think they need to do or need to have before they actually start writing. So I want to dive in a little bit to like, what do we really need to write? Like, what is actually required? And I don't think it's what we often think about or what we've been taught is what we need in order to write. So you can just take a moment, and if you're listening to this, talk out loud to yourself, or if you've got somewhere to write about it for a few minutes. What do we need to write? What do you think you need to write? What is required of us? So I'm going to share kind of the areas that I feel like people often go to. And one is that they think they need some type of, for lack of a better word, like special equipment. And I'm using that word kind of oddly because most of the time now in our very digital world, we think of using a computer for writing. And that's totally valid, totally true. That's where I do almost 75% of my writing. Or pen and paper, right? Pencil and paper. And in order to take the words that are inside of us and put them on the outside, yes, we are going to need some sort of equipment, so to speak. But it's interesting when I hear people that are like, oh, I have all these ideas, they're sharing, and then they're like, and I really want to get this special tool where like I can, write with a digital pen, like on my iPad, and then it translates it over into a Google Doc or a Word doc, and then it's just written for me. Or I really want to find the best, talk to text translation, transcription software or app that I can use so that I can just talk my words out and it's right there. Or I want to get I really love the idea of like going old school, and I want to get a typewriter, and I want to, you know what I mean? And all of those things, it's not that there's anything wrong with them. But as soon as we start to tell ourselves that this is what we need in order to write, I really, really encourage you to check in. Like if that's becoming the gatekeeper, then I'm going to lovingly say that is absolutely not what you need to write. And in fact, that's what's going to keep you stuck, because the time it takes to go and find that, research it, actually pull the trigger, get it set up, all that kind of stuff, we could have been writing. So I often hear people talk about they need all this special stuff. And what if that's not true? So asking yourself that, right? Is that really what I need in order to just get going? The other thing that I often hear people think they need is clarity. And often they think they need clarity around their order of their ideas. I'll hear people I was talking to a wonderful person the other day, and they just had all these amazing things they were excited about sharing. And I get these hits, they were sharing, I get these hits and I just know this is what I'm meant to say. And sometimes it's not, the norm of what other people and how they're thinking. And I'm like, yes, that's what you're here to do, is put this out there. And it may feel controversial, but it's probably what people need to hear. And then immediately she started censoring herself. Yeah, but I never know if people are going to take it the right way. So I have to make sure that I say it, and I have to and then sometimes once I start thinking about whether anyone's going to like it or enjoy it, I lose the idea and then it's gone and I don't write down anything. Oh, so we often think the idea comes through and then I need to get clear on the idea. And if you just stick with me a minute, if we personified those words that came through, those ideas, they're sitting there going like, hello, I have done all the work for you. Just put me outside of your body, please. Thank you. So I'm getting curious around if clarity has been something you felt like you needed in order to write. Again, like we did with kind of the software, the equipment, the tools, is that really true? And how can writing and getting started actually bring you clarity? How can writing and getting started actually show you what, if any, special gadgetry you might need that's going to support you versus being the thing you need to actually write? Interesting to think about. The other thing that a lot of people think they need are prompts or like starters on what to write about. And I just lovingly lean in those moments and say, have you been living? Are you alive? Have you experienced things in your life? Then you have had all the prompts, all the what to write abouts that you need. Start there. Start with what you know. Again, it's this idea that we need something on the outside to confirm what has already been showing up with us on the inside. So what do you need to write? If I just get really silly and simple, it's going to sound silly. I don't think it's silly. You just need you. You just need you. And you need to honor what is showing up in the moment as it shows up, as well as intentionally setting time to invite the ideas to show up, to create space for them. So in many ways, there's nothing you need to write besides yourself. There's nothing that you need to get started besides you. And I know that seems silly, and I know that seems perhaps trite, but it really is absolutely true. Every single writer that we support, every single published author, after they write their book, when we kind of reflect and are like, what happened? How did you get here? They're like, I just got started. I just put down one word after the other, and I didn't really know where I was going, and I didn't really know how it was going to turn out, but you guys were there to hold space for me and talk me through it and coach me and give me feedback. And I just trusted myself and trusted the process. And here I am holding my book. Here I am holding my poetry that I've been wanting to share. Here I am holding just special writing for myself that I can pass along to a family member one day. Here I am holding my writing as healing work. So, what you need to write is probably far less fancy, far less exciting or sexy than you think. So I'd love to pose this question to you. What do you think you need to write? What of today's ideas in the episode are you resonating with? What are you wanting to push back on? You know I am here for it. So be sure to hit me up over on Instagram, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Written Compass. If you are enjoying this content, do me a favor and go and review the podcast. This allows me to share and get these messages out to the people who really need them, who we want to read their books in the future. You can also go and share your thoughts and tag me at @ShaynaHartman_ on Instagram. Again, this is just a way for us to get connected and share the writing love. And if you know that you are ready to write your book, that message that's been burning inside of you for a long time, then I want to talk to you. My team and I want to talk to you. Head on over to ShaynaHartman.com and click Work with Us. From there, you'll see an application to explore and see if writing your book is your next best step.